Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to this measures of dispersion class. In the previous class, we had the discussion of measures of central tendency, harmonic mean and geometric mean for group data. So I covered in the previous unit, that is measures of central tendency, arithmetic mean, median, mode, and then harmonic mean, geometric mean. These are the five different the averages that we studied in the measures of measures of central tendency. The measures of central tendency, shortly called MCT, that MCT is the first order average. What actually it was? First order average. The second average is your the next topic is this one. Which one? Measures of central tendency to measures of dispersion. So this topic is known as popularly second order average or measures of dispersion. This dispersion topics elaborates that the variation in the variables. What actually? Variations in the variable. It is a study of variation within the items. The dispersion is a variation within the items, that is studied in the measures of dispersion, right? If you read this part, the measures of dispersion of central tendency, right, that is central tendency gives us, not this one, measures of dispersion gives us a single value. I think all you know that mean, median, mode, harmonic mean, geometric mean gives only one value, that is called single value, that is a central value. But the dispersion is the extension of the central value. As I said that MCT is the first order average, then dispersion is the second order average. The measures of dispersion are called second order average as they based on the first order. Like example, mean, median, right? Sometimes a mode also. So if you want to find the or to analyze the dispersion, right, deviation analysis purpose, variables analysis purpose, items within analysis purpose, what we need? We need once again the help of measures of central tendency. Keep in the mind that if you don't know the measures of central tendency, it is difficult to you to analyze through the statistical analysis called measures of dispersion. So shall we move to the concept now? That is the measures of dispersion. As I given just now, dispersion is the study of what? Variation. Variation of what? Variation within the variables or within the items or within the individual items. You can write it as an exam, the same meaning. What you have to write? Measures of dispersion is the study of variation within each item or within individual items, how actually it was shows the differences, how it actually varies. That is the study of dispersion. If you read this definition or meaning, it was like the same. Dispersion is the measure of variation of the items. This was one kind of meaning. Otherwise, measures of dispersion is a measure of the extent to which the individual items are vary. So as I said that both are the meaning. Anyone that you can use in the exam. Otherwise, by simple you write it like this: measures of dispersion is a study of how the items or variables or varies within the items or within the variables. That is the study of measures of dispersion. I hope that the concept is clear to each one of you, right? If I give an example to you, just I will show you an example. Suppose how that actually within the variable, say for example 10, 20, 30 and example 40. So within the items means what is the difference between these two, what is the difference between these two, what is the deviation between these two, like that. So within the items the deviation is computed. Normally we are finding D called deviation. How? one number assumed mean, then it is subtracted within the numbers. Example, if it is taken A, this one if it is A, now what we are doing now, this was example X, so A, X minus A, that is your D, that is 10 minus 10 is 0, next X is 20, 20 minus this 10 means 10, like that 20, like that 30. So what you did now, deviation within the items, so 10, 20 difference, 10, 30 difference, 10, 40 difference. So this kind is known as what actually the dispersion does, or dispersion carries like this, right? So move to the objectives of measures of dispersion, right? So the first objective is to measure the reliability of an average. Reliability means trust, worthiness, believe, right? So how much you believe that, how much you reliable on the average, right? So that is a very important case of dispersion. So the dispersion is normally computed for these three objectives reasons. The one is, if you want to find the between the variables, is there reliability, is there, right? Are you going to the trust in that variables? Are you going to take the risk? Are you going to run the business? How much you need to invest the money in the particular business, and how much it is reliable for you to invest the money in that the area, like that reliability, trust, clear? So that is your measures of dispersion does that, it gives you reliability of an average, right? If you read this part, you will get the same. Then if it is a more reliability, less reliability, no reliability. Example, if it is less variable, more variable, or fair variable, like that it is more reliable, it is less reliable, like that we are going to comment in the solution. Reliable means more reliable means so you can go with that business only, you can run that business, you can take the opportunity, you can run the project like that, because there is a less risk is involved there. That is a reliability case. Then why we need the measures of dispersion? Is there any if the two or more variables are there, example, the variables means two variables. If I say that two variables are there, within the two variables, which variable is good for you, or which variable is more reliable for you? That is one case. Now, if two or more variables are there, like the example, X is the example, team company A is there, company B is there, right? You are going to compare the which brand is good for you, company A, company B, right? You are going to purchase the goods for company A, company B. Two brands are here, company A, company B. Which brand is good for you, right? For that, you need, if you want to find that one, you need to go with what actually the measures of dispersion topic, right? So there are some very averages are there. Use those averages and you find the number. So more reliability, and for it is comparison purpose, out of these two, which one is more reliable, or out of these two, which one is the best? So comparison purpose it is required, and more reliable purpose it is required. Next, to control the variability in the phenomenon. Variability, is there any variation in the variable? Variation means, think that so you are having the two opportunities. Project A, I think most of you know that in your project that is financial management. So project A, project B, think that in SAPM, company A, company B, right? If I given two examples, this example, one example you take that the SAPM, and this one is you think that it is a FM. In FM, you have the two opportunities to run the business, or you can take the C also, project C, project D. So four variables are there. In four variables, that is project A, B, C, D, opportunities are there. Then which project is good for you, right? Which project is good for you? How you are going to identify that one? Where there is a less risk, see, less risk and high margin. Margin means profit. So we are going to take the which one? High risk, less risk, higher margin. Which of these four objectives is set for these two objectives of the investment? So if I want to start any business, I need that less risk and more the profit. So out of these four, so which one is more variability, more risk is there? More variability means more risk. The measures of dispersion gives you which one is more riskier or which one is less riskier, right? If I take the company, two company are there in front of you in SAPM, you are investor now. Now you are not taking the investment. Investment, if you are taking the investment, it is a financial management. Now you are going to invest the money. Now if you want to go to the investor, then you need to check that which company is less riskier and which gives you higher margin. That company you are looking. So for that, you need to find measures of dispersion. I think if I give a word called standard deviation, I think now it may be clear to each one of you. So standard deviation, I think most of you very familiar with this one. In case of financial management, in case of which one? SAPM. In both the cases, you use this standard deviation. So I am discussing with you standard deviation only. The standard deviation is a kind of tool which comes under the measures of dispersion. Dispersion under standard deviation comes. The standard deviation gives you the correct picture whether it is less riskier or more riskier. I think all you already did that one in your SAPM, right? And it's in FM also. So we are discussing the same topic now. Is that clear? So this was all about the objectives of measures of dispersion. So these three are very important. These three are going to comment. If a question comes to you, comment that you have to write the same 3 points, right? In SAPM or FM, I think we did that. Which project is good, which project is preferable. So you are computing the standard deviation, and less riskier, less standard deviation is called less riskier, higher standard deviation is called more riskier. You compute the same in the SAPM and FM. Now in this case that you do the same thing. Then absolute measure and relative measure, these are the two dispersion, right? Absolute measure, it is a raw and it is not the purified one. See, it is a measure of dispersion which expressed in the terms of same statistical unit that are already used in the data. Whatever the the statistics are used, the same data is represented here. That is absolute. What is its relative? Relative measure of dispersion, it is a dispersion which independent statistical unit. Independent. So here whatever the variables are there in the variable what statistics you used, the same is presented. Here it is not like that independent. It is not used in the data, but you are using separately. That is relative measure. See, what are the absolute and the relative measure of dispersion? This was absolute, this was relative. Range, its relative is coefficient of range. Mean deviation, its relative is coefficient of mean deviation. Quarter deviation, coefficient of quarter deviation. Standard deviation, coefficient of standard deviation, right? So one more is there. In this case, coefficient of standard deviation, and also it is includes this point includes coefficient of, that is a very important, coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation, we call it as coefficient of variation, shortly called CV, is very important. We will discuss this one in the problematical area. So move to the next point now. Range now. So there are how many the ranges, means measures are there? 4. Absolute 4. Its relative is 4. So only 4 are there. We find the absolute or relative, whatever the question is there. But most of the time they are asking you coefficient only, not the absolute, right? What is the range then? Range, very simple. Range means the difference between the largest number and smallest number. Largest number, smallest number means like this. Largest number is in this x value. Which one is the largest number? So range equal to here like this. Range equal to, if the formula is like this, L minus S. L means largest number, S means smallest number. Or sometimes it is used like this. Range equal to H minus S. H minus S. What is H minus? Highest minus and highest number minus smallest number. Anyone you can use L or H. Any both are same. L means the largest. Clear? Then S means smallest. Anyone you can use the smallest and largest. If you see here in the formula, I use here H and S. Now, which one is H here actually? H minus S. H is 40. See, 40 is here. Then 10 is the smallest. The answer is that is simple. Is that clear? It is very simple. It is called absolute range, absolute measure. If it is coefficient, then it is like this. H minus S, the formula if you see, H minus H plus S minus H minus S. So this was the area that you need to use in the range, right? So the formula is what actually, I think I did here wrong. The formula is not like that. H plus, it is not actually H minus S here, and here in the below H plus S. Here it is H plus S. I think I will rectify you this one, H plus S. So by using this formula you will get what actually? Coefficient. I will use now H minus S. What is H? 40 minus 10, smallest number, divide by. What is S? H plus S? 40 plus 10. So answer is 10 point. So 40 plus 40 minus, if I explain you, 40 minus 10, H minus S, 30, and 40 plus 10, that is H plus S, 50. So this number divided by this number equal to 10.75. It is like this, you have to find. So I don't want to go with this the merits and demerits, just you read and write in the exam. It is basic concept actually, you read it. And second one is standard deviation. This was important. This was important actually. What is standard deviation? Sorry, quarter deviation. Quarter deviation, actually the quarter deviation means, quartiles means 4. What is quartile? So quartile means 4. How? If I say that, I will show you an example on diagram, then maybe it may be clear to you. Say for example, think that this was one distribution. So in this distribution I will divide that like this. This was the one part, this was second part, this was second part, and this was the third part, right? How many partitions are there here now? Partition 1, partition 2, partition 3, partition 4. Clear? So if I say that example, see, this was the first number 1 means A. How many B, C, last D? How many parts comes A, B, C, D? 4. But how many dividing points are here? 1, 2, 3. So these 3 is called Q1, Q2, Q3. That is first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. Otherwise lower quartile, middle quartile, upper quartile. I think it is clear. So Q1, Q2, Q3 are lower quartile, middle quartile, last quartile. So if you divide the 4 equal parts, then there is a 3 dividers, right? So this is known as quartiles. Now come to the point of answer, means quartile deviation. The range which includes 50% of the distribution is called interquartile range or quartile deviation. If the value includes 50% of the distribution, 50% means here now, see, this was includes 50%. Example here, from here half partition is there, from here half partition is there. So it is called, this area is called quartile deviation. This area exactly from here to here half, here to here it is half is there. So it is called a quartile deviation. The range which includes 50% of the distribution is called interquartile range or quartile deviation. This can be, see, this can be get by the first, that is Q1, and from the subtracting from Q1 and Q3, that is the difference between Q1 and Q3 that I am saying here now. If you move to the formula now, this was same, Q3 minus Q1, range, quartile range, interquartile range. What is your quartile deviation? Q3 minus Q1, right, divided by Q2, so means 2. So quartile deviation is also called QD, QD equal to Q3 minus Q1 by 2. It is also called semi-interquartile range. What is its coefficient? This was the coefficient. Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1. So this was the formula for your, this was quarter deviation formula, and this was your coefficient of quarter deviation formula, and this one your interquartile range. If they are asking interquartile range, use this one. If quartile deviation is given, this one. Coefficient means this one. Clear? Now you read the merit and demerits, very important for exam. In exams they will ask you the theory, merits and demerits. Just you read the theory of merits and demerits. It was exactly as good as in your problem, but most of you in exam, I have the question paper. In the question paper only they are asking you one question, that is you find the mean deviation, quarter deviation, and second question is write down the meaning and merits and demerits of the quarter deviation. So these are the very important tools. You read it simple, all you read the theory and you write in the exam, because it is very important for you in exam, right? So what I will do, I will cover this part. It is rigidly defined. What is rigidly defined means accurate. Quarter deviation comes accurate. What is simple to calculate? The formula is very simple. Q3 minus Q1, Q3 minus Q1 by 2, and this formula is also very simple. So it is very simple to understand and calculate. It is not affected by extreme items. Extreme items means like this. Say for example, I think I did some questions in the previous. If I show that, so this kind of question. Okay, and if I show, not this one, I think, okay, I will give a separate example for that. I think still all of you maybe believe that, like this, a question I think I solved below 10, then 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 above. I think this class is called, I think I said that, yeah, what kind of class? Open-end class, right? I think everybody is remember this one. Open-end class. Open-end class means first class, last class is unknown, right? This is called extreme items. Extreme item is first and last. So there is no problem for finding the quarter deviation if the question is like this. No need to change. Like this one is 0 to 10, this one is 40 to 50. No need to change. Whatever the question is there, you keep the same question in the solution. But in case of arithmetic mean, you need to change this number and this number. That was we are discussing here now, extreme items. It is simple to calculate in open-end class. See, it is very simple to calculate in this case. No change in the solution. Whatever the question is the same, you take and answer it. Then demerits. It is not based on all observations. So quarter deviation comes only in this area. If I say that, see here mean deviation comes only in this area, or mode comes only in this area. What it means? It is not based on all observations, but your mean is based on all observations. See, you are computing the m and you are multiplying f into m, all observations taken here, and this totally need for this formula. But for median case, you need only this formula, this area or this area, mode case. So mode and median, demerits is same. It is not based on all observations. In mode case also, in median case also. But the same point is, it is based on all observations, is a merit for mean case, because mean is based on all observation. It is not, it has no sampling ability. Sampling ability means by taking the sample, it cannot be solved the answer. It is not capable of further mathematical treatment. Yes. So by using the quarter deviation, you cannot further, you are going to analyze. By using the quarter deviation, you are not going to analyze anything. So there is no proof are there. There is no derivations are there. There is no example algebraic type of there. So it is called, there is no mathematical treatment for this. Proof, derivation, not like that. So it is called no capable of, it is not capable of mathematical treatment. So this is all about your methods of dispersion, right? This topic I think I covered here two ranges. One is range, two is standard deviation. Now I will solve these two questions, and later I will start that mean deviation. Mean deviation, then standard deviation. If I cover these four, this topic will over. But 100% from this topic you will get the one question in exam, 15 marks. So theory is very important as well as problem also important. Because in one question 15 marks they are not asking only problem. 15 marks question, A, B question. A question theory, B question is problem, like that. So if you want to solve the problem, you need to read the theory as well as problem. Both you have to cover, right? Not only theory, not only problem. So you need to cover both. So how much you comfort in theory, you write problem also, you read the and practice the problem also. Both you have to practice. Otherwise, it is difficult to each one of you. So now onwards, I will start your range and quarter deviation, right? Thank you. If you have any doubts in the theory, just you call me.